safer world is possible, and together we can and will make it happen. Thank you.
When you show up in community, you find that group that makes you feel like home, but oftentimes you also find yourself again.
Hey y'all, what is this mess? I'm reading about Fergie, the Duchess of York. You have members of the royal family literally partnering, friendshiping with convicted pedophiles. Did you see the emails? She used words like hellaciously, and I humbly apologize because I didn't reply to you. I was trying to save my book deals. That was what was important to her, not the fact that he had committed heinous crimes, sex trafficked, he was a pedophile. None of that mattered. No. And have you noticed that everything they accuse Meghan Markle of is what this royal family is actually doing? Everything they've accused Meghan Markle of. The Duchess of York, Fergie, and the Duke of York, Prince Andrew, have profited disgustingly from their titles, from their influence and their position in the royal family. And every member of the royal family does that. And this is what they were accusing Meghan of. And it's clear that she's making her own money. And she was making her own money before she married Harry. But hey, what?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Sussex Full. I'm Emma, your host. And if you stand with Prince Harry and Meghan, you're in the right place. Hit like, comment, and subscribe right now so you don't miss any of our updates. And ring that bell to join our family. Here on Sussex Full, we call out double standards, amplify the truth, and stand up for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Today we'll be digging into the latest headlines, reactions from royal experts, and the shocking hypocrisy so many Brits are finally calling out. We'll cover the claims and responses, and ask the questions mainstream outlets won't. Special shout out to Dr. Shola. We see you. Stick around, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this video so the conversation keeps growing. Karma's not finished, and neither are we. Welcome to Sussex Full. Let's get into it. Royal family hypocrisy, the double standards of title and race. Dr. Shola's passionate critique cuts to the heart of the royal controversy, exposing the blatant double standards surrounding Prince Andrew, Sarah Ferguson, and Meghan Markle's treatment within the British royal family. While Prince Andrew and Fergie seemingly exploit their royal titles for financial gain without significant repercussions, the same establishment seeks to strip Meghan Sussex of her royal status, with racial undertones clearly influencing their motivation. The systematic targeting of Meghan, a mixed-race woman, reveals a deeply entrenched pattern of institutional racism that has long plagued the monarchy, where white members are afforded grace and opportunities that are systematically denied to those of color. The royal family's toxic hypocrisy, y'all, it's honestly a tale of double standards. The British royal family's brazen double standards have reached a new low, epitomized by Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson's shameless monetization of their royal titles while simultaneously calling for Meghan Sussex's title to be stripped away, a move transparently rooted in racist undertones. Their hypocritical narrative exposes a systemic rot that justifies misconduct from the highest echelons of aristocracy down to the most mundane levels of institutional privilege, revealing a shocking pattern of selective accountability that protects white members while ruthlessly targeting those of mixed-race heritage. The stark contrast between Andrew's continued royal connections despite his deeply troubling associations with Jeffrey Epstein and the relentless attacks on Meghan's legitimacy lays bare the royal family's cruel and discriminatory power dynamics, where privilege and prejudice intertwine to maintain an archaic and morally bankrupt social hierarchy. The royal rupture, Meghan and Harry's unprecedented departure, it's really something that shook the world. In a seismic shift that reverberated through the hallowed halls of the British monarchy, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry made the unprecedented decision to step back from their roles as senior working royals, a move that sent shockwaves through the institution and captured global attention. Their departure was not merely a simple resignation, but a complex tapestry of personal struggle, racial tension, and a desire for autonomy that challenged centuries-old royal protocols. The couple, frustrated by what they perceived as systemic racism, media scrutiny, and restrictive royal expectations, chose to forge their own path, effectively breaking from the traditional constraints that had defined royal life for generations. Their exit was a powerful statement of self-determination, rejecting the gilded cage of royal tradition in favor of personal freedom and the opportunity to define their own narrative, a choice that exposed deep-seated tensions within the royal family and sparked intense public and media debate about privilege, race, and institutional change. The royal family's calculated campaign against Meghan Markle, well, it's honestly hard to ignore. The persistent and calculated smear campaign against Meghan Markle over the past 6 years represents a deeply troubling pattern of institutional racism and targeted harassment within the British royal family. Unlike previous royal spouses who were afforded grace and protection, Meghan faced relentless media scrutiny and internal family attacks that went far beyond traditional royal protocol. Her treatment starkly contrasts with how other family members like Sarah Ferguson or Kate Middleton were received, revealing a systemic bias that specifically targeted her as a biracial woman entering the predominantly white royal institution. The coordinated efforts to marginalize and discredit her, ranging from tabloid hit pieces to alleged backstage maneuvering by royal courtiers, demonstrated a ruthless strategy designed to isolate and diminish her influence, ultimately driving her and Prince Harry to step back from their royal roles in a quest for personal dignity and self-preservation. The universe operates with a poetic precision that often, just eludes human comprehension, especially when it comes to dispensing justice. For the British royal family, the boomerang of karma is not just a metaphorical concept, but a tangible force gathering momentum, preparing to strike with, surgical accuracy. Every act of manipulation, every whispered slight, every attempt to marginalize and silence becomes a seed of its own destruction, destined to germinate and return with a vengeance that cuts deeper than any calculated royal strategy. The cosmic ledger of accountability does not discriminate, nor does it forget. It simply waits, patient and inexorable, for the perfect moment to balance the scales of karmic retribution. As the controversy surrounding the British royal family intensifies, a growing chorus of royal experts and British commentators are rallying behind Meghan Markle, exposing the glaring double standards that have long plagued the institution. The public discourse has shifted dramatically, with many now critically examining the royal family's treatment of Meghan, particularly in contrast to how other members have been permitted to leverage their royal titles for personal gain. Voices of support are highlighting the stark irony of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson freely monetizing their royal connections, while at the same time calling for Meghan's title to be stripped away, a narrative that seems inextricably linked to racial undertones and systemic prejudice within the monarchy's inner circles. The royal family's unprecedented crisis is, front and center. The unfolding scandal within the British royal family has reached a boiling point, with the glaring hypocrisy of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson becoming, honestly, more and more apparent. Their blatant attempts to monetize their royal titles stand in stark contrast to their aggressive calls for Meghan Sussex's title to be stripped away, revealing a deeply troubling double standard that's, rooted in racial prejudice. The consequences of their actions are now reverberating through the institution, with royal experts and the British public growing increasingly critical of the family's selective moral outrage and systemic discrimination. What was once a carefully maintained facade of nobility is crumbling, exposing the raw, ugly underbelly of privilege and institutional racism that has long been hidden behind palace walls. The royal reckoning is here, a debt of dishonor, if you will. The royal family's accumulated debts are not merely financial, but really a profound moral accounting that looms like a dark, unforgiving shadow. Years of calculated attacks, whispered slanders, and calculated marginalization against Meghan Sussex have created a karmic ledger that demands settlement. The reckoning that approaches is inevitable, a cosmic balancing of scales where every cruel narrative, every racist undertone, and every strategic betrayal will be confronted with ruthless precision. Those who believe they could weaponize privilege and prejudice without consequence are about to discover that the universe maintains its own exacting form of justice, where return to sender is more than a postal instruction. It's a spiritual promise of accountability. The royal drama continues, unraveling media bias and personal struggles along the way. In the complex landscape of royal narratives, staying informed about ongoing developments becomes crucial for understanding the nuanced dynamics at play. The continuous updates surrounding the Sussex family reveal a multifaceted story of media scrutiny, personal challenges, and systemic inequities that honestly demand careful attention and critical analysis. By closely tracking these evolving situations, observers can gain deeper insights into the broader implications of racial dynamics, media representation, and the personal toll of public narratives that often, oversimplify complex human experiences. Royal hypocrisy is being laid bare. The unmasking of double standards is, impossible to ignore. The clamor for accountability within the royal family has reached a fever pitch, with mounting evidence exposing the egregious double standards that have long been swept under the palace's ornate rugs. As Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson continue to leverage their royal titles for financial gain, their hypocritical stance becomes increasingly transparent, particularly in their unfounded attacks on Meghan Sussex. The call for justice demands a reckoning, a systematic dismantling of the royal family's archaic protection mechanisms that have historically shielded its most problematic members from genuine scrutiny and consequence.